sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as police.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Tuesday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's the 4th of February. Let me say thank you to our friends across the world, our friends in Africa, our friends in Ghana who make time to listen to us, to watch us, to share the stream, to like it, and to tell others about us, and to even leave a comment. Thank you so much indeed. We appreciate you. Also, thank you to Grandpa Clothing and Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit. It's a combination. It's a double do. Now, there has to be justice for Poli. And yesterday, I spoke with the incoming sports minister, Mr. Kofi Idi Adams, MP for Boem, and he assured me that he will be on this case because he wants the love for Ghana football to be brought back. So there has to be justice for Poli. It doesn't matter. I don't support Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I am a true Accra Hearts of Folk fan. I'm a true phobia boy. It's in my blood. You can't take it away. But murder is murder. Wrongdoing is wrongdoing. And we must insist and ensure that people who do wrong must be made to face the law. May we not add Poli to the list of Ahmed Hussein Swale, to Macho Kaka, and to all the other people who have died, and it looks as if we can't find who killed them. No. This should be an example. The missing Takrady girls, etc. This should be an example. So there has to be justice for Poli. And that justice has to be served very, very hot. Yesterday, we were talking about indiscipline. Somebody sent me a video yesterday that broke my heart. A small boy, maybe in base primary school. Look at what the small boy was doing. And you see, it doesn't appear that he is a novice. He has rights as a child. But clearly there has been some irresponsible people around him, and he himself has been irresponsible because maybe he has not been told or made to understand that what he's doing is wrong, and his colleagues are cheering him on. There's a breakdown. And I've been seeing letters from the Ghana Education Service week on week inviting teachers to attend refresher courses and training stuff that they have to pay monies from. Somebody sent you about 6 or so of those ones from the Volta region. And I'm sure it's across the country. So I ask myself, what is the essence of those training programs? If those training programs cannot reflect in the life, take the video off and come to me. Cannot reflect in the lives of these children. What is the state of our guidance and counseling units in our schools? Do we even have guidance and counseling units in our schools? Come to me, come to me. The guidance and counseling units, do we have them in our schools? Until we give the power to discipline and correct the students back to the teachers and the headmasters and headmistresses, we will have a problem. What, you're going to do this before Sarah Hagan or William Agbakwe? Or you're going to do this before, what do you call it, the late Mrs. Loco or Mrs. Ajiman? Or Abe Ashon? Or VB Freeman? You're going to do, how are you going to do that? Oshegbe, you can't do that. There's a certain breakdown. And we must all work towards it because this is basic school. It comes down to second cycle. Then it goes to the university tertiary. And then it comes down into society itself. There's a breakdown. And the earlier we accept that there's a breakdown and move to fix it, the better for us. I showed you a video from the Ruby Joe Education Center, right? It's a brigade, English I'm from. I'll show you again. 3 boys who found money, who thought that they should take it back. And I'm mirroring the 2 situations. One educational institution or school, or if you like, one mentorship program and whatever it is that says that, look, you have to be disciplined, you have to have integrity, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. And then another who have been left to be on their own. The smoking was being done in a classroom. Because if you're a teacher in a public school and you dare discipline anybody's child, you will be dealt with. I always say that I went to a typical Saito school. Typical. Not half and half. My Saito school was typical. Typical Saito school. Today, look at how I turned out. I went to a typical Saito school with my colleague Pakwesi Asari. Look at how he turned out. And I'm sure that there are many people who can say they went to typical Saito school. I even went to a morning and afternoon shift Saito school. Yeah, I didn't go to an international school. No, don't get it wrong. I went to a typical Saito, typical. Back in the day, how were you going to do this? In the classroom? You were even scared to sneak out to go and play video game, Mortal Kombat and Contra. You were even scared. Today, there's a breakdown where students stand and want to do pound to pound with teachers. The GES has to wake up. The Ghana Education Service has to wake up. Our guidance and counseling units have to be brought back. Give the power back to the teachers and the headmasters. And they will be given a fair hearing, because I remember when I was in school, when you offended the rules in the school, or flouted any of the regulations in the school, you were hauled before a disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee had a student representative on it. Sometimes your parents are even invited to the hearing, so that there is that fair hearing and assurance on the part of your parents. That's why they say, go home and bring your parents. Go home and bring your parents. Where is the parental care? Where is the duty of care? From the authorities, from the parents, from society. Today, you can't advise anybody's child. You can't discipline anybody's child on the streets. In my days, when I was a small boy, anybody's father could have called me to order. And play the Ruby Joe video again. The parents of these boys should be very proud of them. The teachers of these boys should be very proud of them. Put the video up. They saw 70 Ghana cedis. And they were so happy to return the money, like the students at Swesco did. Also, all hope is not lost. There are still some good examples that could be used to change the narrative. The parents of these boys should be very, very proud of them. And they should celebrate them every day of the week. They have done so well. Now, give us our NAPCO flowers. Let's read our NAPCO flowers. This is a scorecard. Expand it so we can read it together, please. So this is from the NAPCO, right? And they sent us this yesterday. It's addressed to Mr. Johnnie Hughes, a renowned journalist, and it says, "Dear Sir, gratitude and appreciation letter. The coalition of NAPCO trainees is deeply grateful to you for your unwavering advocacy on behalf of NAPCO trainees. who faced overwhelming arrears under the previous government. Your tireless efforts to amplify our voices and share our sentiments have become a beacon of hope. We appreciate your dedication to our cause, particularly in demanding payment of our deserving arrears under the erstwhile government of President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Dr. Bawumia. Although the previous government's failure to pay our 9 months arrears despite numerous petitions and advocacy efforts, we acknowledge your vital role in echoing our concerns and frustrations. Your selfless advocacy has not gone unnoticed, and we pray that God blesses your kind gestures. We also express our heartfelt appreciation for your exceptional advocacy for Ghana's youth, especially the unemployed youth. Your rallying cry, "Let the retirees go and let the young grow," resonates deeply with us and reflects the aspirations of Ghanaian youth. We commend you for using your platform to champion the welfare of young people. We believe that Ghanaian youth are on the cusp of a new era of opportunities. Your platform is a vibrant voice for the voiceless, amplifying the concerns and struggles of the vulnerable. We pray that God grants you the strength, wisdom, and courage to continue advocating for the marginalized and oppressed as you tirelessly work towards a better future for Mother Ghana. Thank you. Yours sincerely, Frank Kwanzaa, National Secretary, Coalition of National NAPCO Trainees. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our flowers for today. A round of applause for us, please. Ba, 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 ba. And another one. Ba, 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 ba. Scorecard right there. Now, there's a video of a man who is busily building a dumping site on that, I'm told, the Kwashima La Paz main road. And he's busily building it. And I use that to set the tone for an open letter to our regional minister, our new regional minister. And yesterday, in one of the, was it Upper East or Upper West, the minister went and he was throwing money. Upper East. And the minister was throwing money about. And I was so surprised. Look, I am a chief in the Dagban Kingdom, a small chief in the Dagban Kingdom. And I appreciate that the people of Dagban decided to honor me. In these times, when you have told people that there's no money, in these times, when you have told people that times are difficult, in these times, when you have told people that, oh, things are hard, you should not be seen to be behaving in an opulent manner. But I digress. You see what the gentleman is doing? Right on the median, he has turned it into a refuse dump and is collecting rubbish and putting it right there in the median. I'm sure that when the metro guards of that assembly go round to take property raid, business operation permits, all those things, they see him. What do they say to him? No, I'm asking, they see him. What do they say to him? Are there sanitary sites? What is the arrangement? If there are no sanitary sites, what really is the arrangement to make sure that people don't do the things that he's doing? Now find me a photo of our regional minister. Please put our regional minister's photo there. Good morning, Regional Minister, Madame Oklu. I hope you are fine. Now, I want you to pledge to some of these things. And this is an open letter to you. And I'm writing this open letter to you. I'm putting out this editorial because your colleagues at the vetting table decided not to vet you, and the Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Marking, MP for Efutu, has told us that, oh, it was because you had a consensus, your side and their side, that, oh, you should not be grilled because they already know you, etc. But we, the people of Greater Accra, we know you, but we don't know you. That is why we want to ask you to pledge to these things as you're standing there now. You have gone there, you have taken your place. It's a good thing. But the first thing we want you to tackle for us, Madam Minister, is the question of filth and flood. Ga ewo muji wa adenche. Filth and flood. Accra is dirty. Go to the beaches. Since when we went to the beach, the Jamestown beach, did you see the pack of filth there? And it doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from within the city to the beach. So dirty that the fishmongers there, they have become used to the dirt and the filth. So, madam, Accra experiences little rains, big floods. Come to me. Little rains, big floods. I want a situation where it can rain so heavily and we will not have, we will not have floods because we decided to deal with the filth. And speaking of the filth, I don't want to be hearing another 43 million US dollars for the dredging of the Odo, because we saw how artistic impressions were shown to our former president, Nana Addo. He himself was shocked at some of the things that he was being told at the time. Little wonder that they never happened, they never materialized. Before that Garrett program, there was the Korle Lagoon Ecological Restoration Program, CLEP. You remember that? So Accra is dirty. We promised that we were going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa in 4 years. We failed. Then we said, oh, it is not 4 years. We're going to do it in 8 years. We failed. Oh, we failed. This is what I'm talking about, madam.
Then the Korle Lagoon itself will take a longer time because that's where we have more composition of material, which needs to take a longer time, maybe about a year or two to finish. We're going to have recreational facilities. That is the sea outfall. So along we have recreational facilities, other infrastructure, we can have some hotels will come at the end. And this makes the whole place. Then we're dredging all the way through cycle.
So what we did was that we dedicated money to this or for this. And you see the confidence of the gentleman doing the, is it touch screen? And I know this is not touch screen, this is analog screen analysis. And you see the confidence. We dedicated money for this. If you ask where the money is, we don't know. If you ask where the hotels and all those things that were being we don't know. But we don't want to be hearing that we're going to spend so much to dredge the Odo and the story will be the same. The filth and flood must go. Accra really must be a clean city for us all to be able to live in it and to be able to invite others to come and join us to live in it. That's your first task, madam. The people of the Greater Accra region want me to tell you also about the street lights, the road markings, the traffic lights, and most importantly, the street children on the streets of Accra. Street lights, street markings or road markings, traffic lights, and the street children. I have raised concerns about the street children. If you leave them, you don't attend to them, one day, your children that you are driving to school now, to that international school, they will grow up and come and take what they have worked so hard for from them. Oh, yes, yes. Show how dark Accra is. Just show them. Accra is dark, and everybody is driving with highlight. I know older people who tell me that, look, after 6 p.m., they don't drive because things have changed. Put a picture up there, let them see it. This is just a small portion of Accra. And this is how the city is dark. This is Kaneshu. What does it take to fix street lights, road markings, and what does it take? What does it take? What does it take to fix it? This is around the stadium area. So Kaneshi, and then Pokwasi Amasama Road. So a couple of places in Accra. What does it take? What really does it take to fix street lights? So, Madam Minister, the people of Greater Accra said, I should tell you that because your colleagues didn't ask, this is their second request. Their third request is about land guards. Land guards who come for digging fee, planning fee, roofing fee, lintel fee, all those nonsense fees. After you have finished buying your land legitimately, you have the title, you have gone to the assembly, you have gone there, they have given you your, your permit. You go to the site, you want to start digging. Then some people will come and say, we are land guards, give us digging fee, give us that fee, give us that fee, give us that. They want that to stop. The people of Greater Accra, they want that nonsense to stop. And it rests in your hands. As the head of the Regional Security Council, it rests in your hands. They also have a concern about the incessant and indecent grabbing of lands, including forest reserves. The only forest left in Greater Accra, the Achimota forest, has been grabbed by some people and willed forever. And we hear about parks and gardens, then you hear about La Lands, then you hear about Tosu land, then you hear about this land, then you hear about that land, and people are just grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. So the issue about land guards and land grabbing, the people of the Greater Accra region say, Madam, they want you to look at it and deal with it for them. The land grabbing conversation, it is a conversation that must be had. Then there is another very touchy subject, but it has to be said. The people of the Greater Accra region, the indigenous people of the Greater Accra region, they are asking why their indigenous language is not being taught in their schools in the Greater Accra region. You see, this morning, if you go to Ho, there's no way you hear anybody teaching anybody Ga there. No. This morning, if you go to Kumasi, there's no way you hear anybody teaching anybody Ga there. No. If you go to Kwesimintim, there's no way you hear anybody teaching Ga there. If you go to Nyankpala, or if you go to Tamale, if you tell me where else you would go to Kofoedia, go to Ebri, go to Kokunuru, there's no way you find anybody teaching Ga there. Sadly, in Greater Accra region, and our chiefs have failed us, the Ga Traditional Council, respectfully, they have failed us in that regard. And you know that when you want to annihilate a people, you take away their language, you take away their culture, and that's it. They're gone. And now, so you find indigenous Gans, they hail a taxi, and the first language they want to speak is Twi. Because we have been told by the GES, who themselves have made a rule that in the region where you come from, or the region where the schools are situated, the L1 of that place should be taught. The GES, it's in their rules. I didn't do that. Then they will finish and train teachers who can speak Ga and teach Ga, and they will take them up north. They will take them down east, wherever it is. And our chiefs have sat down and they're treating it with kids' gloves. No. The people of the Greater Accra region say they want their Ga Dangbe to be taught in the Ga Dangbe schools. And I'll give you a classical example. The former Chief Justice of this republic, Her Ladyship Sophia Kufu, she had a conversation with Senior Bolare. And she said that she's not of Ga ancestry. When they came down to Accra, I think she was learning Kriapimo or something. I've forgotten exactly the language, but it's certainly not Ga. So the Ga teacher that she had at the time, a very wise and industrious, intelligent teacher, asked her to put her Akan book on the side and the Ga book on the side so she could follow. So when you can read the Akan, and then this is the Ga version. Like what our students, exchange program students go and do. They learn new language to be able to adapt. And so she can speak impeccable Ga, even though she's not Ga. Because at the time, the GES that we had then was very responsible. The Ministry of Education we had there was very responsible and very responsive and sensitive. If you want to annihilate a people, you take away their language, you take away their culture, and they're gone. I am not a Dagomba, but I'm learning one or two. I am not an Ewe, but I'm learning one or two. And that is how we grow as a country, because we are looking for integration, but we are not looking at losing one so that another could gain. No. Because nane achi wo fe awo kan flamusu. mi wo gamanje ma metasha menkwe shikpon homo mongo amena akeshpon ba cha ke lo le chenchema akeshpon ba cha ke lo le chenchema mo fe mo echo asafo yeche asa ana asafo ache egbo muji asa. So they want you to look at that, Madam Minister. They also want you to look at the haphazard nature of setting up things in Ghana. And if you talk to the septuagenarians, those who are past 80, octogenarians, etc., they will tell you how beautiful Accra was. And if you go to the National Archives, I have had reason to go there. You see some of the photos, Accra in the 60s, Accra in the 50s, Accra in the 70s, how orderly things were. You know, the estates, the Ringway estates, Adabraka, Kaneshi Foyo, you see, very well demarcated. Today, everybody picks a container and dumps it somewhere, and they are just, everybody's just citing anything, anywhere. The city is no longer beautiful. The city is no longer beautiful. The city no longer has the glory that it used to have. And I thought that this question would have been asked at the vetting table. But no. No. That question was not asked. Another thing that they want you to do, Madam Minister, is that the politicians who are meddling in chieftaincy affairs must be told to keep off. Politicians meddling in chieftaincy affairs must be told to keep off. Royalty is by blood. That's why the gun says, ayole money yo, ayele money homo yole. To wait, it is the person who is deserving to eat that the food is given to. Not the person who comes to say he's hungry. Ayole money yo. The person who has to eat, not the person who comes to scream that I'm hungry. The politicians have entered the chieftaincy domain because the chieftaincy institution has allowed the politicians to get in there because they will get 1 or 2 policemen following them assigned by these politicians. They will get 1 or 2 vehicles. They will get 1 or 2 privileges. So they are happy to trade off what is supposed to be for consanguines, not fictitious consanguines. If my social anthropology lessons are correct from back in the day. Chieftaincy is for consanguines, not for fictitious consanguines. So they want the politicians off their backs. They have made a mistake. Most of them admit. Some of them are still stubborn. They are still playing in hanky-panky with the politicians. But the institutions of chieftaincy must be respected. And you can talk about past Mancheme, and this is a new one. You can talk about the late La Manche. I mean, the likes of the Kwabena Bondi in our history, you talk about them and you have goosebumps of us. So we're going off TV, but we'll be live on 3FM 927 on Facebook. Tune in. Let's talk about this. The minister has to know, has to hear. It's a full edition. We're going off TV3 now, but we will be here on 3FM 927 on Facebook. Join us. You can tune in as well and watch us live. The politicians in our chieftaincy institutions must back off. They are also asking me to tell you, Madam Minister, that the airport, our airport here, you should look at the name change. You go to Ho, there's Ho Airport. You go to Kumasi, there's a Prempeh Airport. You go to Tamale, there's Tali Airport. Why is it that when you come to Accra and you cannot find any prominent Ga chief or prominent Ga person to name the airport after? They're asking me to ask you. And they're asking me to tell you to make it a priority. Madam Minister, they're asking me to ask you to make it a priority. They are also asking me for you to tackle the security concerns, kwashe, armed robbery, all of those things. They want you to deal with those matters. Madam Minister, it's a very critical matter because these things should have come up at the vetting table, but they did not. They are asking me also to ask you, Madam Minister, to look at the abandoned projects that were supposed to beautify the state of Ghana and also to bring respite to the people of Ghana and win back the past glory. So many projects started and finished, and most of them, some of them, you find them in the city centers, and it's so appalling, so, what's the word? It's so appalling, so uninviting, and so, I don't want to use that other word. It doesn't look attractive. And it is so unbefitting of a capital city. They want you to look at it, Madam Minister. Finally, Madam Minister, they want you to create employment for the young people of the Greater Accra region. The young people of the Greater Accra region, sadly, and it is not just in Greater Accra region, but this is because you are the regional minister for the Greater Accra region. That is why this conversation is coming to you. But you go across Ghana, the boys and the girls, if they are not doing hookup, then they are engaged in some drug abuse, tramadol, codeine, shisha, ashish. I mean, because they are idle. Where are the jobs? Where are the factories? The factories have been sold. Some have been turned into churches. We know. But where are they? So what alternatives do we have? How do we create the enabling environment for the young people of the Greater Accra region to also feel very proud and to also say that they have something to do? So this morning, once they've woken up, they know they have taken their bath, they've eaten breakfast, they are going to work. If it's a shift system you want to run, that's fine. To feed into your 24-hour conversation, that's good. But they want to have something to do, and they have asked me to ask you so that you actualize that dream for them. And it is non-negotiable, they say. So, Madam, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The people of the Greater Accra region asked me to deliver this message to you. And I've delivered it to you in raw form. I hope that you find this message worthy and try and consider it and possibly apply it. Have a good morning. No money affair. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.